I am back just in time, so let's see how the civilization and player positions are looking. This time we've just had a restart, an admin restart, because Goku had trapped sheep. They were stuck in an oasis which was completely surrounded by trees, so the sheep couldn't get out. Pike with a really nice Chinese start here. Look at this, able to get those sheep under the TC after like 10 seconds, so he's going to be in a great position. Let's see where his position is for his team. He's playing pocket, so Chinese pocket. I like that. I think with these Civ lineups, Britons, Goths, Vikings, Chinese, I'd like to have the Goths and Chinese in the pocket. Perfectly good knights in the Castle Age, of course, and that pocket position allows them to safely transition towards powerful Imperial Age armies. Britons and Vikings best suited to the flank, I feel. So Pike is pocket to Wonder's Goths flank, so based on what I was just saying, I don't consider that to be completely ideal, but it's perfectly workable, of course. So Wonder has missed all his sheep in the back whilst he's scouting the front. Wonder if he's going more for an early lane. He looks like he's just going to circle around and he'll pick those sheep up at the back. On the other side for Nabs, got Zuppi playing Vikings pocket. They can be quite a strong pocket Civ. Obviously their knights aren't the best, and their cavaliers are pretty pathetic, but the strength of their boom does still make them a difficult Civ to contend with in the pocket if you're one of the opponents. And it's also a great position if you fancy slinging, of course. Mentalist Britain's flank, once again, feel that's great position for him. And he's sending 4 villagers out to wood right away again. Like I said in the previous attempt to play this game, I'd expect to see him drush a man-at-arms. Just mentalist things, really. Then facing off against mentalist, got a Chinese flank for Miguel. He's got, I think he's only eaten, has he? No, he's maybe taken 2 sheep now. Pike presumably, maybe more so with perhaps Miguel with a slightly delayed Chinese start relative to Pike, but yeah, he seems he's 1 villager behind, or more or less at this point, so much better Chinese start for Pike at this point. Bruh playing Goths pocket, so we've got Chinese and Goths on this side for Bots United. And then we have Nikov playing Vikings pocket, so everything that I said about Zuppi's prospects in this game applies to him. And then finally Goku playing Britain's flank, so this could be difficult in the Imperial Age for Goku, matched up against Goths with Britons, but this is an interesting looking map. This reminds me of a certain final game from yesterday where a massive cliff was really important in the game, destroying and disrupting a trade route. That is one of the best natural walls I've ever seen. So Goku will be feeling quite secure with this map here. Alright guys, just sorting out some stuff on my computer. So, unlike the previous game, I haven't seen any steals coming out just yet. And we're starting to get towards the point in the game where players are taking in their second boars, so I think no laming in this game. Always good to see. Miguel pushing in deer quite nicely there, but he is behind in villagers compared to every other person on his team, so he definitely suffered with the Chinese start there. Pike seems to be maintaining around a half villager lead at least over everyone else in the game. Have a look at the maps. Really nice goal for Wonder there, almost out of the map. He can't get great saturation out of it, but he'll be protecting this front area. See his barracks coming up on the hill, denying entry to his base here, and he still looks like he's got all of his resources more or less towards the rear of his base. Yeah, that stone's in a good spot as well. He doesn't seem to have any forward resources. I feel like we'll see this left side be quite close. I don't think we'll see anyone dying in the early game looking at these maps, because with the buildings going up for the drush as well, Goku's completely sealing himself in. In fact, Bots United could really get a good team war going across here. This is only one of the only large spots to wall up between the flank and the pocket there. The right hand side, What's going on? Nothing much, just scout shenanigans, hitting buildings, just being annoying. That's a house coming in for Wonder. Is it a bad house? Yeah, it seems he's been in house for quite a little bit of time there. Not optimal. But Mentalist coming out now, so we've got the Drush War starting to begin on the right hand side. Mentalist Scout taking a few hits there. Likewise Miguel. Seems Mentalist getting the better early hits with his militia, so he'll have the slight advantage here. And that can carry over if he's also going to be able to go up to the feudal age fast and potentially get men at arms, as Mentalist so often does. But it's not going to be a fast feudal time for him. More of a drush fast castle build with a higher population. Although Mentalist is not averse to following up a drush with just full feudal afterwards either. So, but I feel like that's a suboptimal play with Britons. Getting into the castle age nice and early with Britons is always great. Those cheap TCs just powering up your boom so much. We've got a lot of scouts here. That's 2 scouts for Zuppi, well, for Nadya's boys, Zuppi and Mentalist, and 2 scouts for Bots United. So even on that front here, Brut is actually here with a full HP scout, which can help return this quite a lot. While that's resolved, I'm just going to see what's going on here. It looks like the 2 drushes here met, and we had a half HP militia left for Goku at the end of it, so not a big deal there. No potential to truly harass the economy with just half a militia. And we're going to have the same thing here. Miguel will survive with half a militia, so both flanks drushes just clearing each other up. Mentalist is really going to be kind of late. I guess he'll be able to drop off the food pretty soon, but certainly compared to everyone else in the game, we already see the other flanks up. Miguel, quite a long time ahead of him. He's probably going to be in the feudal age at the moment that Mentalist clicks. There's going to be probably at least a 4 villager difference between the 2 of them by the time Mentalist goes to the feudal age. Goku's up, Wonder is up, not too much faster than the Mentalist actually, so both Nadya's boys flanks opting for quite high population drush FCs, if you like. Wonder's looking pretty safe across the front. Wish I had my grid map. I'm going to assume there's no hole there. I would assume that he would have checked that, but it looks deceptive, doesn't it? Meanwhile, Pike is flaring 2 of Goku's villagers going out. It looks like this is a team wall attempt. I did see them talking up here about how it's quite far to wall, but I think Goku will just put up ranges and blacksmith across here and just keep on going, extend this building wall. But 2 scouts here for Nabs, and that's actually Nikov's one coming in. So, and Wonder's scout is on the verge of death, so those 2 villagers will not get picked off by any scouts here, although Pike will keep his half HP scouts circulating to pick up the info about what Goku's actually doing. To Miguel's sole remaining militia lures a wolf to the one line of Mentalist. That really shouldn't pick up any kills there, of course. All full HP loomed villagers. Right, finally Mentalist is in the feudal age. Archer range, blacksmith, and resources look pretty good to click to the castle age and without too much delay. Got decent walls almost stretching to his pocket here. Haven't quite joined up, but that's not too much of a problem. Miguel's going to have to go the long way round, and pretty much by the time that those few archers are in a position to do any damage, Zuppi will be up into the castle age. He's already 50% there. Going 2 stables. I remember seeing this in game 1 against Tyrant. Zuppi doesn't seem averse to going 2 stables, even with civs that don't have the best knights. 2 ranges for 8th Wonder, 2 ranges for Goku as he completes this wall off towards Nikov, and Nikov going with 2 stables as well, so both Viking going 2 stables. So we're going to have a nice aggressive game here. No Viking pocket slinging and such. 2 stables for Pike also. And the only person remaining is Bruh. So we've got 2 stables everywhere. This is going to be awesome. A lot of knights. Obviously, Chinese can throw in some camels as well. And Mentalist is now suffering a little bit on his gold. That's 1 villager down already. Bruh Scout getting in on the equation, adding some nice extra DPS. And Mentalist was down on the archer numbers as well there, as a skirmisher, and even a second one of Sir Miguel. So Mentalist struggling right now. Zuppy needs to get his knights right over here. Seems like they were sort of slow to get here compared to the fact that he was around 60% castle a minute or 2 ago. And Mentalist has suffered a number of losses here. He's already suffered 12 deaths in the game, and I think at least 2-3 villagers have gone down there. Zuppy with the +2 armor straight away. Pretty interesting decision, but we don't see any sling happening at the moment, so he's just going to play very aggressive, get early upgrades, and also just keep those stables pumping, I think. By contrast, for example, the Viking pocket for the other team, Nikov, is on just now getting +1. As he moves out together with Goku with fletching crossbows. Let's see how well Wonder is prepared for this. He's going to have a nice hill to the north of his base where he's patrolling with Pike. The eastern entrance is completely blocked up. And I think they'll just try and keep that front secure, defend with the hills between him and Pike, and try and let Wonder boom as much as he can, really, as Goths just making what military is necessary to defend. But on the other side, Nabs will go aggressive. Miguel did a very heavy archer feudal play here. He's not on his way to the castle age. He's currently the only player in the game still in feudal, and with +2 knights skulking around for Zuppy, those archers are going to be barely scratching the Zuppy's knights. And with no real sign of Bruh being here, 1 knight coming with just no upgrades, I feel like Miguel could be very, very vulnerable indeed to Zuppy on the right hand side. But let's just keep an eye on how this is going on the left. Seems like Pike with the advantage in knight numbers here, +1 done. Likewise Nikov. No bloodlines for Pike. But Goku's only got fletching here, and he's also got the smaller crossbow numbers compared to Wonder with Bodkin. So easy fight for Nadya's boys here, and they're going to absolutely clean up Bots United on the left side, and that will mean they can now go aggressive if they want to. I spoke of how they may choose to defend these hills and let Wonder boom a bit, but they've taken such a nice fight here now that they can try and push. But having said that, we do see these massive walls extending all the way to Nikov, so they'll have to look for a place to either get around the walls or to break through. There are some palisades in some spots, but the TC is right there. Right, so as we were saying, easy fight for Nadya's boys. Pike and Wonder are now going to push out, and that's a pretty scary looking army considering that Nikov has 3 military and Goku has 13, which is a reasonable amount of course, but only now getting Bodkin. I'm actually struggling to figure out whether it's... here it is. They're going to cling to this hill. Goku saying stay here, evidently a bit scared about what lurks in the fog of war to the north from Nadya's boys. Meanwhile, Zuppy is applying pressure to his opposing pocket. Bruh, still no upgrades on the knights. Doing a monastery to defend actually, so it looks like he wants to not commit too much into knights, try and get the TCs up and start booming early with some monks to defend. But if Zuppy just turns his attention to Miguel instead, then that may not go so well for Bots United. For now though, he is cleaning up the knights at home. This TC fire and the monks allowing him to get rid of the knights, although not without the occasional villager going down and idle time being inflicted. So Zuppy's decision to go 2 stables early on and +2 straight away. It's paying off for him, and he's actually got quite a good number of villas. He's 5 villages ahead of Bruh, despite getting those early upgrades. And I think that's testament to the power of the Viking economy at the start of Castle Age. Free handcart being one of the most amazing bonuses in the game. It's just so nice to have when you're playing. Miguel with a really large army here, but still only feudal archers for now. Although Castle Age is 3/4 done for him. It's like here the 2 armies are just kind of keeping their distance, not wanting to commit. Both of them can just retreat to their respective hills if either of them moves forward. Rykov is informing his teammate that he's getting +2, and Goku says go. So they're feeling confident about that +2. Pike +1 bloodlines for now, so broadly similar.
Yes. Wood, please.
Seems that the bots team really don't have too much in the way of TeamSpeak communication here. There's a lot of typing going on. I gather Nikov has always been a typer. They could get a good trap here if they manage to attack down this hill and hit Pike and Wonder in the back, but for now they are into Goku's base, and they might not be able to catch them and take advantage of that hill bonus. Although Wonder's crossbow's going back. Interesting just to see whether they decide to go in or to try and find a better position to engage or not get trapped or pincer from behind. Military numbers between Wonder and Goku are broadly even here, just trading volleys. Not really too much in the way of kills. Looks like Goku did pick a couple of Wonders there. A Pike with 12 knights and Nikov with 12 knights, so it's basically even at this point. Like I said, it's bloodlines in there for Pike, which Nikov obviously doesn't have access to, but he does have forging done. But it's really actually worked out extremely well for Pike here, and they've killed off all of Nikov's knights, and Goku is being forced to retreat now. All of those crossbows walking back as Wonder takes the hill. And once again, Nabs have taken a really good fight on this left-hand side. That's 2 fights now that they've emerged victorious from, cleaning up quite a lot of the bots' military, which is obviously meaning that bots are having to spend a lot more resources on replacing these soldiers that they keep losing. So I feel like they'll be having a better time of things, but we haven't been back to the right-hand side for a little while, so let's refocus in here as we see the blobs come together on the minimap inside Mentalist space. Huge, massive crossbows from Miguel. He's on 42. I thought Mentalist had a lot, but it's only 28. Where is Zuppy at this point? That's what I want to know, because Brut is here supporting Miguel. But where's Zuppy? And the answer is he's got some knights streaming, but in general he now seems to have stopped producing that many. Got a decent group here, but sensing Mentalist is in all kinds of trouble with 40 crossbows in his base. He may want to start adding in a few more. Even on the upgrades front here, apart from the addition of forging for Zuppy. Viking food eco makes the addition of forging to the knights kind of cheap to get, I guess. For now, Bro and Miguel have found a good spot in the back of Mentalist base, and they can keep pushing in and threatening. It forces them to keep these armies here, and it means that Miguel and Bro will be safe at home. Meanwhile, Goku is saying go, so looks like things may be turning around a little bit on the left-hand side for bots. They've obviously, as I said, they've had to replace their army, but now Wonder's getting pretty caught out with some knights attacking his crossbows. They're not terribly grouped up. Pike arrives to save the day, and once again the knights and crossbows for each team will regroup and cling to their separate hills. It seems like this map is full of areas where there's sort of two hills facing each other, but Wonder is just going to say, let's not bother taking this fight and losing our stuff. I think I can get a castle up to protect the front of my base, and all of his resources are in the back, as we've said. So if he gets this castle up, I think he'll be in a good situation. Could lose a few villagers on the way though. 3, 4, quite costly loss. But now they'll be forced to retreat, and Wonder with 77 vills is actually still ahead of his Britain's opponent at 73, which is kind of surprising given the strength of the Britain's boom. Mentalist, meanwhile, has negotiated the difficulty he had with all of that stuff in the back of his base. It looks like they had a big engagement whilst we were watching the other side, so let's take stock of the military numbers. Seems that that fight went worse for the bots team. And I say that because Miguel had 40 plus crossbows. He's now dropped down to 28, and it's Mentalist with the army advantage. So the big fight in the back of Mentalist's base did work out a bit better for Mentalist in terms of the flanks. Let's look at Zuppy's Knights numbers. 14 to 16, so pretty even there. So yeah, just a little bit better for the Nadya's boys flank player there. Wonder, meanwhile, is starting to prepare for his Imperial Age transition. He was the fastest up. Pretty much neck and neck with Mentalist. Not taking a great fight now at the bottom of that hill, but he's almost reaching the point where he's not terribly concerned what happens to his crossbows as long as he can use them a little bit usefully in defence, because he's going to be thinking about the Goth infantry transition and the Imperial Age, of course. And once he goes Hussars, I think he's Britain's opponent, who is slightly slower to the Imperial Age, or not by much, will have a little bit of a problem. Goku's instructing his teammate Nikov to go and raid the pocket, and he's going to cling to this hill. Meanwhile, on the other side, bots are still trying to apply some pressure to the outskirts of Zuppy's base, but they can't do too much here. That wood lion, though, is pretty exposed, and quite a few vills could go down there. Zuppy doesn't seem to be noticing right now. Okay, he sees it before too many casualties happen. Mentalists with a just frightening number of crossbows, though, forcing the bots players not to hang around in this area for too long. And they'll get a few more nice picks from the economies of the pocket players here, but looks like Pike is also here from the opposite side, so potential for 3 Nadya's boys to fight against 2 Bots United players in this area. But as I say that, Nikov is also applying pressure from the pocket on this side, the left side for Nadya's boys. Pike with some camel transition in the Imperial Age of Chinese. Good option, of course, to rebuff the Knights streaming in from the enemy pockets, whilst he presumably prepares for the transition into Chukonu eventually. We did see him heavily on stone in different places, but he'll have to wait a long time for that Chukonu transition. His economy is looking pretty idle now. Mentalists with Arbalests trying to chase down some of the enemy army that's roaming around idling Pike's eco, and Miguel is going to lose all of his crossbows here, trapped in the back of the enemy base, plus 2 knights surrounding them, and Arbalests coming to finish the job from behind with relatively few losses at all for Nadya's boys. So unfortunate timing for Miguel here. He's just clicked up to the Imperial Age, but he's just lost every single military unit he has, pretty much, down to 5 military. You can see the minimap just lighting up like a Christmas tree because there are just attacks everywhere. Zuppy dealing with random knights in his eco, but not too much there. Mentalist is looking pretty chilled on the right hand side, just going for the Imperial Age transition to fight against the Goths pocket. Actually, he's researching man at arms and dropping barracks, so he'll go Britain's champions to fight against the Goths. Not a bad decision, of course. Probably the best one he can make in this situation. And Zuppy is actually slinging both of his teammates at this point, so he's not going to go Imperial Age and do Vikings army. He's just going to send his resources to his more powerful allies in this situation. Try and give Mentalist a little bit of help facing off against the Goths pocket in particular, but also superpowering Wonder, because he split the resources that he sent to both Wonder and Mentalist. So Wonder will be fully boomed Goths plus Sling, and as we can see, he's already breaking into Goku's base. A little bit of a fight has taken place here between just some elite Huskars and a few remaining knights for Nikov. He's idling some of Goku's eco, actually forcing those vills into the TCs. And Goku just doesn't seem to be ready for this. He's got the barracks out, but the champion transition isn't going to be done in time. Only just now researching two-handed swordsman and only 10 military. So it looks like he could be losing most of his base before he actually has any sizable force of champions here. Those Huskarls are tearing through that TC. And the repairers pop out and just get slaughtered by the Huskarls. That's 1-2 TCs going down. I would fancy this one to follow suit. So Nab's in control of this game now, I feel. Zuppy, whilst he's slinging, is trying to take control of the whole map as well, get a really nice forward team wall. And to be honest, all of the bases for Nadya's boys right now look pretty serene, although they were disrupted in the late Castle Age and we did see some villagers going down. It's all pretty quiet, and the action is all in the southern half of the map as Nadya's boys look to push on Bots United on both sides. Mentalist now with Arbalests and Champions. Nice combo, and he's starting to force his way into Miguel, the Chinese player's base, who just doesn't seem terribly ready either. He's got some skirms to potentially deal with Arbalests, but doesn't have enough chucks to help against the Champions right now. And with his pocket on Huskarls for the moment, those Champions are still hold double duty there and work well against both players for Bots United on the right hand side with their current army compositions. That's only Miguel's second castle and he doesn't have many chucks, so Mentalist is coming in. Probably just treb everything down and just not overcommit too much with his army right now. Meanwhile, Goku is just looking in a bad way. He's down to 62 population. We did see those two town centres in the north go down. Obviously, the other TCs, many villages couldn't fit inside. They've gotten slaughtered by the Huskarls. Nikov is here with Cavaliers, but it seems all too late. Don't know where those Huskarls are going for Wonder right now. I'm going to go to his point of view and turn that military view on to just see where he's raiding at the moment. Seems that he's still just sort of streaming them. Actually not streaming them, he remastered a few and came in for another big push. I like that, it'll allow him to take down another TC. Although, seems Goku actually not researching champion just yet. So it's just going to be two-handed swords and Cavaliers against the Elite Huskarls. The Elite Huskarls will still do okay in that case. And really aggressive forward castle coming forward for Wonder there, right in the middle of Goku's base, denying access to his second or third gold, probably firing upon one of his few remaining TCs as well. So Wonder is putting all kinds of pressure on Goku on this side. Let's take a look at the right hand side. Big fight happening here. Siege rams being added in for Miguel to try and soak up some of that Arbalest fire, and it looks like a fight that's going pretty damn well actually for the Bots United players, so hope for them on the right hand side. Those Huskarls, well, as I said that, they're starting to melt to the Champions. It's getting really hard to tell the purple and the red apart, and actually what looks initially to be working out quite well has seen most of those Huskarls go down, although Mentalist likewise doesn't have many champions, and as a second wave of Huskarls arrives for Bruh, the skirms and Chuck should be able to kill most of Mentalist's army, but the problem is it's under the umbrella of all of these castles, so they really can't come too far forward, and Mentalist is just going to keep coming with more and more castles which will provide the shelter to just tread everything down that Miguel has. So I feel like on open ground the composition would enable Bots United to take a nice fight here, but the problem is this is not open ground. This is fighting under the shadow of a lot of castles, and with Trebs just chilling behind those castles, destroying the infrastructure of Miguel's base, Mentalist is in great position here. I wonder how much more sling is starting to receive from Zuppy. It looks like Zuppy is dividing his sling equally between Wonder and Mentalist at this point, as those sneaky Huskarls look to take down a couple of Trebs perhaps, but looks like they'll get behind Mentalist's army and the Champions will do their bodyguarding job for those trebuchets. Meanwhile on the left hand side, Goku down to 46 population. He's starting to conclude that this game may be over. He's saying yes, it's GG to his team. We really don't have any players for Bots United that are winning fights decisively in any area of the map, and with Goku being about to be out of the game, I wouldn't be surprised to see that GG being called in just a moment. Miguel and Bura still fighting valiantly, trying to hold the line on the outskirts of Miguel's base, but they're continually coming forward just underneath all of these castles, and that is just a withering volume of fire to try and withstand. I don't care if you're a skirmisher or a siege ram, this is just far too many arrows flying around, and even the Huskars are just going down straight away. While they're also doing a decent job of applying some raiding to the Bots United pockets as well, although castles on the front still managing to pick off I'm sure they're pissing them off by killing them, pick off the isolated Huskars that are just sort of waypointing in, taking a lot of fire on the way, although Nikov actually not with the ballistics, so those pesky Huskars still managing to sneak their way in to a degree. Have a look at the trade. It is pretty good trade for the bots team. At least Nikov has a lot of carts, but Nadya's boys arguably with the cleaner trade route at this point. Feels like this is a bit messy. Still, I don't think this game is going to last long enough for all the trade to have a dramatic impact. The scene of the battle on the left hand side is now shifted pretty much behind Goku's base. He's being wiped out of this game to that extent that the fight is now taking place behind where his base once stood, and he for his part is retreating right into the southern corner of the map and still having most of his small economy idled anyway. Siege rams being mixed into pipe now along with his Chukalus, and they're taking down this just mess of barracks that the bots have built over here, which don't seem to be producing all that much in terms of actual military. Nikov is holding his population admirably high, but it's not enough, and the GGs have been called here. Good performance in game 1 by Nadya's boys. Both flanks playing strong in the kind of early part of the Imperial Age, supported by Castle Age Sling from Zuppi. I like that tactical choice. Nikov was trying to fight in the Imperial Age to save Goku. I don't know if he sent any sling at all, to be honest. Yeah, absolutely zero, and I feel like that was a better decision in the end, better strategy and good play by those Nadya's boys flanks. So next game will be the home map of Bots United. I haven't watched any of their games in the tournament to know what they've been picking actually, unfortunately. So it's going to be a stab in the dark if I try and guess. So we'll just have to wait and see. Perhaps one of the more informed members of the chat knows. I do see Nilford, who may be able to give us the inside scoop on what home maps Bots United have been favouring up to now. Looks like they need a stronger player. Time for Nilly to step in. Yeah, they should just triple sling Nilly and use his deathmatch skills. Looks like they've gone islands. Okay. Actually, that makes sense. Just knowing these players. I'm going to throw some music on for a second and we'll be ready to start that game in, I guess, around 3 minutes of real time.